What's going on, family? Today we're going to talk about the Baldwin Road Deal. This was a deal that we bought back in 20. Yeah, Baldwin. We bought Baldwin in late 2019 time frame. So yeah, so we've had this for a couple years. It's been a rental. We did the burst strategy, and now we're at the point where we're going to actually sell this one. And you actually go back to the Baldwin. They actually have YouTube content on there from a recap of the Baldwin Road Deal. So you can go and look at that and see just the flipping side of it, the numbers. But what I wanted to talk with you guys today and with this one, because it's been a rental for a little while, but as a real estate investor, you're always looking at the best use of your capital. You're always looking at trying to diversify your portfolio. You're looking across all your properties that you own, which ones are performing, which ones aren't performing. So in making that assessment, like, okay, is this capital best used in this house? Can we take this equity, move it out of here, and then redistribute it in another area? And so that's what we're doing with this Baldwin Road. But I'm just kind of give you guys a recap with this one. This one was a complete good job. This one was the first house that we purchased that had a tree fall on it, had tree damage, had to rebuild that piece. I learned a lot about the roofs and how we didn't have to replace trusses. We could repair the trusses in the roof in place. And so that was something that we had to do. We had an architect come out and that gave us plans for the trusses and where we need to cut the new pieces that we would splice in order to make sure that the roof was able to meet code and still have enough strength to support the plywood on top and of course the shingles on top of the roof. So that was something that we learned on this one. It was really good. This one was unique. This one came strictly from a referral. We had our title company who we constantly close with the same title company, and so they knew what we do. We buy damaged houses, dilapidated houses, and we renovate them, bring them back to life. And so she had a friend that was in the process of selling. Had hurricane damage, had been just sitting on it, not doing anything, and they were ready to sell. And her friend thought about me. It's like, hey, Johnny buys houses. This is what he does, and I let everybody know. I encourage you all. Let everybody know what you do. And so we bought this place for $31,000. $31,000, and might need a one in there. And we ended up putting in right at $35K on the renovation, on the reno. So we purchased for $31,000, $35,000 renovation. I think between the front end and when we refinanced it, because this was a BRRRR, we bought it, we renovated, then we rented it out. So rent on this one was $1,000. And so, which is good. $1,000. And then we refinanced it. So the cool thing with this, with refinancing, that it appraised for $110,000. $110K. And so we were able to get a loan on it when we did the cash out refinance right at $80,000. So we got $80,000 on the mortgage. I think our payment, we lumped this in with 3 different houses. Our payment, so $1,600. So our payment was about $420, $450 for just for the mortgage. And then you add in the taxes were about $100 insurance. One unique thing with this, that on the insurance side, we had flood insurance as well too. I didn't like that. I didn't like that with this place because it's extra cost at $400 that goes into the cash flow. Not a whole lot because it really produced a lot of cash flow. With $400, we were all in about $600 at the end of the month for like setting back a little bit for expenses and everything. So it cash flow. So the burst strategy and then repeat. So we rented this out for $1,000. So we were actually all in. We're gonna say closing costs. Closing cost was about $8K. So all in, we were in $74,000. So we take that in, 31,000, 35, 66 plus 8, 74,000 all in on this project. And we got a loan for $80,000. So they gave us $6,000 back at closing. So we got infinite returns on any money we make off this. They gave us an extra $6,000 back, tax free. Didn't have to pay any taxes because we didn't sell it. This is an $80,000 loan, so it's tax free. The government can't tax you on a loan whenever you do a refinance. And that's a whole nother video because we just refinanced the 18-unit apartment building where we pulled a cash out refinance and we pulled out multiple hundreds K of money out tax free. With that same doing the same birth strategy, but with apartment building, and it took us 2 years to do the refinance, but well worth it. But that's another video. So 74,000 all in, and we got a loan for 80K, so it's cash flowing $1,000. So one of the things with this, we had it's not in the best areas. It's kind of in between. You got a lot of people who don't care about the yards, things like that. Whereas that you have a lot of low renters in the area, and so we ended up getting some bad tenants in place, bad residents in place. And across COVID, it really got bad. Whereas that they completely stopped paying. I didn't really want to put people out on the street, and so for me it was like, okay, we're gonna just take all our other rentals. We had one person who wasn't paying in our 18-unit apartment building, and all of our other single-family rentals were operating fine. So I like, we'll take a hit. I'm not about to put the woman and her kids out right now with COVID and everything going on, and then they can't get any place to live. So I just ate it. You write it off a loss, and for every real estate investor, we keep cash reserves for that where you can weather any storm. Especially now in the economic environment right now, with a lot of uncertainty, people may potentially start losing more jobs in the future. You want to make sure you have cash reserves on deck in case you need them. In case your tenant stops paying, you still have to make that mortgage payment. So with me, with COVID, and their lease just came up in July, and of course we didn't renew. It was like, hey, you guys got to go somewhere else. And by the time we actually went in to get ready to take possession, they already had moved out, and so changed the locks. And for me, now this place is worth, the appraised for 110, and now it's worth 140,000 2 years later. And our mortgage, and when I went to talk to my bank, since it's a portfolio loan, we only owe 74K remaining balance on the loan. And so with that leaves us with $66,000. So we got $66,000 of equity that's trapped in that property. We could rent it out. I think we ended up putting another $3K in to get it back rent ready, and could have put it back out there. Right now, I think we probably in the area could get $1,200 a month rent, which is cool. It cash flows and everything, but it's $66,000. And where we are now, it's like, okay, we can take that money. We're working a 40-unit deal right now, whereas that we're going to do probably a $325,000, $350,000 value add. And so when I just told you about cash reserves, so it makes sense. It was like, okay, let's sell this rental that's making $400 or $500 a month. Yeah, that's nice. Well, let's pull that $66,000 out, and we're gonna bring that and add that to our capital reserve stack, and be able to move that into this multifamily deal. That's a 40-unit deal that's going to cash flow easily $5,000-$6,000 a month, passive income after paying all the expenses. And so, why would you sacrifice and tie this up for $400 or $500 when you can have $5,000 or $6,000 in monthly cash flow? And so that's what we're doing. We're selling. We actually got a cash offer on this one for $140K, and we had a total of 7 offers. I think it was on the market like 3 days, and this was just here recently with all the downturn and buyers leaving and the recession talk. There's people still buying, and there's still people needing a house. And then at $140K, you can't really get a townhouse for that price. So there's a lot of people on the lower end of the buying spectrum that needs real estate, that's looking for a house. And so with this one, it's in a floodplain as well too. And so it did make, for me, it was like, okay, let's just go ahead and cut our cost here, pull this equity out, and then just move it into the apartment building. So this was the Baldwin deal. You can go back and look at the other YouTube video that we have the link below to just that whole flipping update where you can see all the pictures. And I know you guys saw a lot of where it is today, but it'll be really good for you to go back and look at the Baldwin project update and see where it was and what we were dealing with and how we built it back. And it was a really good project. But as always, make sure that you guys click the subscribe button, the thumbs up. I'm about to drop this deal mastery course that's coming out. We're going to do a free webinar upcoming this week. And definitely tap in if you're interested in learning how to find off-market deals right now in today's environment. And really, this is tried true in any environment. You need to tap into the course. The course is going to be $497 But it's definitely worthwhile with all the strategies that we're using right now in my business right now to do 6 figures plus part time. I run my business part time, y'all. I'm still active duty Air Force, but this is part time in the systems we have in our business. I'm giving to you in this mastery course on how do you level up in your marketing. So with that, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Drop any comments below on future content that you guys would like to see, and I'll see you on the next one.